record it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming.
Hey y'all, we're going to jump right into this video. As you can see, this unit is ate up, done up, tore up. So I'm going to show you how to take a factory made unit and make it into a custom unit. Now here I am just showing you guys the inside of the unit because I want you to see that it is a factory made unit. First thing you're going to do is take that old frontal off. Now you want to make sure you separate the hair from the frontal, from the hair from the actual wig. And that's me showing you that right there. It was kind of hard to do on camera, like holding it like that, so I cut most of it off. But again, just make sure you got that hair separated so when you're cutting, you're not cutting none of the length from the back of the wig off. Again, it was hard to do while recording, to cut that off, so I just went ahead and cut the rest of it off camera. But that's the frontal. Ate up, done up, a hot mess. And now you're just left with the rest of the wig. Excuse my voice, y'all. I don't feel good. I'm sleeping under the air. I sound a mess. Now, when you're replacing the frontal, you have to take mind of the measurements of whatever frontal you took off. So that frontal was a 13 by 4 dimension frontal. So when you're putting your new frontal on, you're going to get your mannequin and your measuring tape. You're going to put it right at the hairline and go backwards and make a mark at the 4-inch, because again, it's a 13 by 4. So it's only going to go back 4 inches. And all you have to do is just line that wig up, the back of the wig, with that 4-inch mark that you made, that marker that you made, and make sure the wig is on there secure and going across evenly. Well, straight, I should say. Now this frontal, I already bleached the knots and all that good stuff. But when you're putting your new frontal on, it's super easy. You're just going to line it up evenly where your middle part would be at. Just line it up evenly. Literally slide it back to where that 4-inch mark is. And there you have it. And you're going to sew it on. It's super easy. Now when I'm sewing my frontal on, I like to start at the middle. It's really just my preference. I like to start at the middle and I'll go one side, then I'll go to the left, and then I'll come back to the middle and then go to the right. Because sometimes the frontals can slip, even if they have the T-pins on there, they kind of like slide back and forth. So I start directly at the middle. That way I know my middle part will be a middle part. The middle of the frontal is definitely at the middle of the head. And you just start it as if you're doing a sew-in. So I put that one loop in, I put the needle in between the string and pull it tight. Now, wig makers, you know where sew the frontal on, we have that dome cap, that extra space in between that we may leave, so just in case we have to do a replacement. You don't have that here because it's a factory made wig. So I'm going with the fence method when sewing it on, but I'm going to go to the behind that track. That track is the last track on the actual cap of the factory made part of the wig. So you're going to go behind that, and that track up top is what's going to act as an anchor and bring the frontal onto the cap. And I know I talk a little fast. I'm trying to slow down. This is my first like voiceover for real. So bear with me, y'all. But if you have any questions, just comment, and I'll make sure I can answer those back to you as best as I can. Now I did speed up this process because it was super long for no reason. You guys know how to sew, I will believe, at this point. But again, use your fence method and just sew it back on. Make sure you pull all that hair out the way because you don't want to get that caught up in the string. It can get caught up in the string, but just move it out the way as best as you can, because when it comes time to styling and combing, it'll be all caught up in there. And something that you will get used to hearing me say is what you do to one side, you do the other. So I go back to the middle and work down the right. And again, using the fence method, just work it down. The hair got caught a couple times on this side. I think because the frontal was still a little damp. But just pick it out as you're going along, as opposed to wait until you try to comb it and it gets snaggled and snatched in there. Just take it out. You got to take it out anyway, whether you do it now or later. You're not going to be able to comb the wig properly without it getting caught if you don't take the hair out, the thread. And I know you saw on the other side, but I used the loop method. I just looped the string around the tip of the needle 3 times to lock it in. And then you want to go back in and cut off any excess thread. And voila, there you have it. You just made a factory wig into a custom wig just by putting that frontal on yourself. And your client didn't have to get rid of it. And it's like a brand new wig all over again. Here's an inside view. Neat lines, neat stitching. And then, you still have your clips in there so they can have that extra support. And I know I'm super rough. I'm so heavy-handed when it comes to these wigs. I need a brand new stand because I keep snatching the wigs up. This is what her frontal looked like. It already came a little pre-plucked. I did go in and pluck some more, but I did not put that in this video. That'll be in a different video. But this is your brand new wig. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen that the wig has some color to it, so I did add this in this video. I love using Blonde Me Lightener, but I was all out of the volume 30 developer volume, so I did go with Matrix volume, but it worked just fine. It came out perfect. Now, starting with the lightener, we're going to start with our money pieces, and they're going to be in the front, so that's basically the pieces that that when you look at it, it's the emphasis of the hairstyle and the whole look. They're bright and, it just frames the face and it's just, really pretty. So if you want to do a middle part, the money pieces are right there in the middle. And you're going to just part down the middle, give your unit a middle part, and then grab the hair in the front. At the top of the hairline. You want to, you can part into triangles. Next time I'll try to give you a better angle, but you're going to take triangle pieces on both sides. And when I lighten it, I always tease the hair at the root. I like to tease that so that way you don't have that harsh line, that line of demarcation with the color and the black hair. It just blends it out better. So you're going to see me tease each piece. I go to lighten, I'm going to tease it up. And then add my lightener. And a little trick that I do, I always add a little bit of lightener onto my foil and then add that foil to the hair. That way the hair has something to hold on to and your foil isn't slipping. Just a little trick. You don't have to do it, but I like to do it. And just add it a little bit on there, and that way your foil just stays. When adding your lightener, you want to start at the bottom and make sure it's very saturated. You want to make sure that every piece of hair strand on there is getting lightener. It's never too much. And then you're going to just work that lightener up towards the root. So here you'll see me do a couple different methods. I did the slicing method, I did the weaving method, I did some balayage, I did a little bit of everything. And that's what makes it custom. In my opinion, you can never go wrong with it. When you do, just have some fun and just freestyle it up. Now this side, I just basically did a slicing method, just took a chunk of the hair, and I'm gonna just put some lightener on there. Because more than likely, these are the ear tabs of the frontal, so it's probably gonna get cut off. But you never know, people. Some people's forehead is bigger, so they'll use up more of that 13 inches in the front than others. So you still want the wig to look good and, you know, the color flow all throughout. So you're still going to do it, but I just do the lightener at the ends. But remember to tease. Another thing that I do, I like to part out the front, and I'll go in with the weaving method and give it some highlights. That way, if they want to pull the hair back, they'll have some, like, you know, highlights all, you know, getting pushed back. So when you curl, you'll see little strings of highlights all throughout. So I did a small weaving method in the front. I'll do that on each side. You'll see me do it on each side, but I also tease with this too. Now, my client actually showed me a picture. She sent me a video on Instagram of something of what she wanted. And this is a 13x4 frontal. So I did do the highlights a little small in the front, but all throughout the actual frontal, I'm going to do chunkier highlights because she wanted chunkier. She didn't want as many highlights. Try to get you guys a better angle. So again, go in, two, that's all separated, tease, and then add your lightener. It's really repetitive. Have some fun with it and go with the flow. Now one side's done. So again, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So just repeat that on the other side. Again, I'm going to speed up the video because it's very repetitive. You want to just make sure you saturate the hair with all the lightener. Make sure it's nice and wet. Get all that in so the hair can take. Tease the top on each piece. I like to tease the top. You don't have to. I'm really into doing dark roots. I love dark roots. So I don't ever really bring the lightener all the way to the top unless the person, my client, asks for, their roots to be the same color. But other than that, I always do a dark root. So I like to tease. And then this is the balayage method I love to do because it's really just whatever you want to do. Hand painting, whatever you want to call it. And just take the lightener up top and the bottom and just literally splatter it wherever you want. Just like that. I let the foil sit on for about 25-35 minutes. So honestly, by the time I got done, that second side, that first side was just about processed. But you let it sit there for about another 25-35 minutes. And as you can see, the highlights are chunky. She wanted thick, chunky highlights. There's not a lot of them, but it's enough to get to give it some color. Oh yeah, and y'all, please wear gloves. I burnt my hands all up. I always forget. I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me, but please wear gloves. Now, we use a 30 because she didn't want the color you've seen the thumbnail. The color she wanted was like more of a brown caramel, like kind of caramel, not too bright. So I did have to lift the hair, so I lifted with a 30. I didn't get it too bright. It did get a little bit bright, I'm not expecting, but I let it lift it with a 30, got bright, and I want to deposit that brown caramel color back onto it. So I'm using this toner. It's an 8M mocha. Give me that nice blonde mocha, that caramel color I'm looking for. The toner, that's what I'm going to use. Now on the side of the toner, on the bottles of color, you'll see that's those lines. That's how you measure. They show you how many ounces, half an ounce, 1 ounce. You just add them up. And then on your bowl, for every ounce you're going to use of color, use an ounce of developer. So I'm using 2 ounces of color, and I'm going to go with 2 ounces of developer. Add your developer first so you can measure it that way on the side of the bowl, and then you add your color. Also invest in getting a key. The color key is going to help you get that color out. I don't know if I kind of get blue. You'll see as I'm turning it. I can show you guys a picture. But the color key, they got them on Amazon. But get that and it'll help you get that all the color out the tube. You see how it just rolls down? Now just go in and mix. Now, so I could not find a lot of my stuff, but I was already recording, so I just said forget it. So I'm just mixing. I like to use a whisk, actually a little plastic one. I'll never use metal because metal can mess with the outcome of the lightener or the color, so I just always like to use a plastic whisk. They're little small ones. They sell them at the Salon Centric or Matrix. Salon Centric or Cosmoproof. They have all of that good stuff, but you get it off of Amazon too. And I could not find my tube. I couldn't find anything, y'all, but I had to do this video. It was for her birthday, so I had to get this wig done, and I wanted to make this video for you guys. So I'm just going to put that color all over, and I'm literally just pouring it on to, from the bowl, straight from the bowl, onto the wig. And of course, I'm going to go with my good old Denman brush. I love this brush for everything. Just to get that color all throughout. Make sure the whole entire wig is getting the color. All the light spots and stuff like that. And of course, my camera kept trying to fall. Now, if you look at my counter, that color is already starting to like show. That's that brown we're going to get to. And it came right off. Just use shampoo. If you ever get color on your floor or on your carpet or on your countertop, just use shampoo to get it out. Nope, the color will pick right up. And then you're going to let that color just sit on there, and it's going to take for about a good 25-30 minutes. And wash it, wash it out. Treat it as color. Even though it's a toner, treat it as color. You want to shampoo and condition and then style as, as wanted. Now, I didn't get a picture of the wig when it was done with all the color by itself because I literally was rushing. Her appointment was coming up. The color, it was just a lot going on. But overall, it came out perfect. And I will insert a clip of her after I installed it and did her makeup for her birthday. And here's my gorgeous, gorgeous girl. It was nice and caramel, not too bright. She wanted some brown, not really blonde. And it came out really good, and she loved it. Even though I moved it to a side part, those money pieces were still popping and showing.